Vice President Anderson.
Here.
Councilor Blakely. Here. Councilor Forbeck. Here. Councilor Keys.
Here.
Councilor Levy.
Here.
Councilor Preschel.
Yeah, I was just looking for a picture on the cable TV screen. I don't see one.
President Duncan.
Here.
All councilors are present. We do have a full quorum.
Councilors, please use your phones at this time. All rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Regina, the mic needs to be on. Okay. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the special order of the day and announcements. We have a proclamation honoring Beloit International Film Festival on its 16th season. And if the president may, I'll go ahead and read that proclamation.
If you could go ahead and read that, that'd be wonderful.
Whereas the Beloit International Film Festival will once again bring the world of independent film to Beloit and Beloit to the world February 19th through the 28th. And whereas 2021 marks the sweet 16th season of BIF. And whereas this past year has been a real downer and we all need a little entertainment and artistic uplift. And whereas the staff and volunteer leadership of BIF have created a virtual film festival, including 100 films and dozens of panels, special events and opportunities to talk with filmmakers. And whereas BIF 2021 will present community favorites in a special drive-in setting, including the Silent Film Showcase, the Sing-Along, and the First National Bank Classic Film. And whereas because of the respected and joys in the international community, BIF 2021 has been able to draw on the same production resources used by the world's leading film festivals. And whereas BIF is made possible annually by local institutions and businesses, by individual members of the Beloit Film Society and the BIF founders, and by local and state foundations, the Wisconsin Arts Board, and funds from the state of Wisconsin and the National Endowment for the Arts. Now, therefore, this Beloit City Council celebrates BIF as a great and timely community asset, this year offering films at your fingertips, and urges the community to support and celebrate BIF 2021. And furthermore, the Beloit City Council looks forward to BIF 2022, when we will again become welcome volunteers, artists, and communities to our own community. Presented this 15th day of February 2021, Regina Duncan, Council President.
Thank you, Clerk Statler. And at this time, we have some very special people here, and they may have a few words to share with you. We have the BIF Executive Director, Greg Gerard, here, and also Nancy Clark-Mather. She's the board member for BIF, and also she owns her own business, the Beloit Filmworks, which is new to town. So welcome.
Thank you.
So if you'd like to share a few words with us about BIF, I know it's going to look a little different this year, but you may just want to share some information to the public.
Yes, we are primarily virtual this year, and but we will have some amount of community because we're going to be doing 6 drive-ins, weather permitting, of course. We've got backups planned, and we're really excited about having actually something that's got community about it with the festival this year. All the films are family films. They're all free, and they'll all start at 6:30 p.m. on the dot. We think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to add a really unique kind of angle to the festival this year. And once again, everybody's pulling together. Stop at our downtown eateries, get some snacks when you come to the drive-in. We're all trying to pull together and get as much regular BIF as we can, even though it's just not regular BIF. And I just want to say a big thanks to the City of Beloit, Visit Beloit, the Downtown Beloit Association. Everybody has just been so helpful, especially this year, giving us the extra helping hands that we've needed, and you know, because we all know it's going to be, we've never done this before, So stand by. I think we're going to we've got great films, I can tell you that much. And so go home and go Biff, I guess, this year instead of go Biff or go home. Nancy, did you have anything to add?
We're just really excited. And excited can mean bad excited or good excited. And it can mean both. And we're all more good excited than bad. And my company, I'll just say a few things. It's just in startup, Beloit Filmworks. It's really coming in under the umbrella of the Beloit International Film Festival. It'll be a wonderful component to add to the festival. And it will also be, I'm hoping, a wonderful thing for the community of Beloit. We've got a beautiful, beautiful place for small independent filmmakers to come and do their magic. So we're hoping, and thank you.
We're going to
for
try
the
to
time.
we're going to try to lure more filmmakers to come here and make their movies. So Biff becomes more of a movie town. All right. Thanks so much, everyone.
Well, wonderful.
Have a good evening.
And on behalf of the Beloit City Council, I'd like to hand you this proclamation and just say thank you, and we can't wait. We're excited. So a lot of good things happening in Beloit, and this is one of them. So thank you so much, and have a good evening. Thank you. Okay.
Item 4 on the agenda is public hearings, and we don't have any this evening, so that moves us on to public comment.
Thank you, Clerk Sattler. We've reached the point on the agenda for citizens to speak to the council about issues that are coming before us or may come before us in the future. Council members may not act on any request at this meeting, but may refer a speaker to staff for assistance. We ask that you please hold your comments to 3 minutes or less and refrain from personal attacks of any kind. Public comment is a courtesy, and we expect everyone to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Speakers are asked to complete a public comment form or submit an email prior to our meeting. Madam Clerk, were there any public comments submitted prior to our meeting?
Yes, Madam President, there was one public comment that prepared a written comment.
Can you proceed and read that, please?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for allowing me this time. This comes from Jordan Stocklin. At 1003 Pleasant Street sits the historic Pump House building. The main tenants of this building are Beloit 200, a group of civic entrepreneurs, and more bluntly, the most affluent citizens in our community. The collective net worth of its members higher than the GDP of many countries. As the council is aware, the city of Beloit collects exactly $1 per year in rent for the use of this building. The initial 2-year lease expired on November 30th of 2020, but gave the tenant the option to renew for 2 more years under the exact same terms, provided there was no default. Presumably there was no default, and the city of Beloit has collected their $2 so far. The terms of the lease also provide that the city is responsible for major repairs and landscaping / snow removal. The city does a wonderful job clearing their lot. This is a perfect time to recognize our Public Works Department. Thank you. On page 62 of 2020's Capital Improvement Plan is a request on behalf of the Public Works Department to spend $50,000 on exterior repairs for the pump house. The request notes an estimated 10 years to pay off the project. Given the nature of the lease and frankly its tax burden on the city, I think it's imperative that the improvements be held off until the completion of the lease, when an agreement that makes economic sense to the city can be negotiated. To be even more frank, I think it would be becoming of Beloit 200 to take it on the cost themselves to repair the historic building. The lease gives the city no authority to force Beloit 200 to do this, but says nothing of asking. Thank you for your time. That ends my comments.
Thank you, Clerk Statler. Are there any members of the public that did not sign up who wish to address the council this evening? Public comment is now closed.
Item 6 is the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Would any counselor like anything removed from the consent agenda at this time? Can I please have a motion to approve the consent agenda, including items 6A through 6D?
I so move. This is Counselor Blakely.
Moved by Counselor Blakely. Is there a second?
I'll second that. This is Mark.
Second by Counselor Preschel. At this time, there's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Are there any questions or discussion? I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Vice President Anderson.
Aye.
Counselor Blakely.
Aye.
Counselor Forbeck.
Aye.
Counselor Keys.
Aye.
Counselor Levy.
Aye.
Counselor Preschel.
Aye.
President Duncan.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Item 7 is licenses, and under Site 7A is consideration of Resolution 2021-24, approving the new Class A beer retail license for James Enterprises LLC, doing business as Texas Groceries, located at 1909 St. Lawrence Avenue, Caesar James, agent.
Clerk Treasurer Statler, will you please provide us a report?
Gladly. So this evening you have before you a request to obtain a Class A beer retail license for the license period ending June 30th of 2021. This location was previously operated as Texas Grocery, TEX''S, and is now operating as Texas, TEXAS Groceries under new ownership. This sale happened during the current Class A moratorium, and so they were unable to apply until that moratorium expired by the new ordinance. They did provide a complete license application, and the ABLCC last Tuesday recommended approval 4-0 for this Class A beer retail license. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Can I please have a motion to approve the resolution?
Nancy Forbeck, I so move.
Moved by Counselor Forbeck. Is there a second? Second by Counselor Levy. Now I'll take questions and comments from counselors, beginning with Vice President Anderson. Do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, I do not.
Counselor Blakely, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, thank you.
Counselor Forbeck, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, thank you.
Counselor Keys, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
I do not, thank you.
Counselor Levy, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, I do not.
Counselor Preschel, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, I don't.
At this time, there is a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Can I ask the clerk to please call the roll?
Vice President Anderson.
Aye.
Counselor Blakely.
Aye.
Counselor Forbeck.
Aye.
Counselor Keys.
Aye.
Counselor Levy.
Aye.
Counselor Preschel.
Aye.
President Duncan.
Aye.
That passes unanimously 7-0. Item 8 is ordinances, and there aren't any this evening. Moving us to appointments. The individuals about to be named have been nominated for a seat on a city board, committee, or commission, and each nomination is subject to confirmation by the city council. Approval of appointment will be accompanied by one motion unless a council member requests to take up a nomination separately, in which event the nomination will be moved from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda. This evening's appointment recommendations are to the Board of Appeals, Melissa Brooke Jose, to a term ending May 31st, 2023. To the Business Improvement District, also known as the Downtown Beloit Association, Roseanne Height, to a term ending December 31st, 2023. And to the Equal Opportunities Commission, Crystal Pina, to a term ending June 30th, 2023.
Can I have a motion to approve the appointments at this time, please?
Nancy Forbeck, I so move.
We have a motion by Counselor Forbeck. Is there a second?
Counselor Keys will second.
Okay, second by Counselor Keys. At this time, there is a motion and a second to approve the appointments. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Vice President Anderson.
Aye.
Counselor Blakely.
Aye, with gratitude.
Counselor Forbeck.
Aye.
Counselor Keys.
Aye.
Counselor Levy.
Aye.
Counselor Preschel.
Aye.
President Duncan.
Aye.
That also passes unanimously. Item 10 on the agenda is counselor activities and upcoming events.
Now we will have counselors to present their reports, and if they'd like to also share information about their committees, they are welcome to do so at this time. We'll begin with Vice President Anderson.
Thank you, Madam President. We just voted on the last two items were things that were committee related, so I won't give an update on that. But over the last weekend, I attended the Beloit and Janesville League of Women Voters annual celebration. This one was titled Restoring Trust in the Voting Process. One of the speakers was our county clerk, Lisa Tollefson, and after hearing her presentation, I think myself and many other people had a newfound respect for her. It's definitely a job we shouldn't take lightly, and with a lot of things that were happening recently, she handled it very well, and hats off to her for that. And then also David Cannon, who is a professor at UW-Madison, gave a presentation as well. It was a very informative event, and I think, like I said, everybody else that attended probably felt the same way. It was really good. Lastly, tomorrow there is an election for state superintendent. It is the only thing on the ballot for Beloit, but it's still important that we get out and vote. It's with such a wide contested primary. I forget how many candidates are running, but it's pretty deep. I believe it's seven or so candidates. I don't remember, but with it being a low turnout, and Clerk Stallard said 7. Okay, yeah, she's on it. It's really important we get out and vote. There's 2 polling locations. To keep it simple, East Side voters go to Central Christian Church. West Side voters go to the Beloit Historical Society. So get out and vote. It's really important. The top 2 vote getters will go on to the April election in the general. So go do that, and that ends my comments.
Thank you, Vice President Anderson. Next, Counselor Blakely.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say that I'm happy to be a member of the Landmarks Commission, and I'm very pleased that our chairperson, Joy Beckman, is here to give a presentation tonight. She does a good job on the commission, and I'm counting on a scintillating report, Joy. I also belong to the Municipal Library Board, and we will have our next meeting on Wednesday. And one last thing, I want to say congratulations to BIF 2021, and thank you so much to everyone involved with it for all your hard work to pull together this wonderful film festival. I encourage everybody in Beloit to go to the BIF website and find out exactly when and where everything is going on this weekend and on to next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Blakely. Next, Counselor Forbeck.
No report today.
Counselor Keys.
Thank you, Madam President. I have no report today.
Counselor Levy.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to, first of all, give thanks to DPW for all of the snow plowing that they have done during this past snow season within the last couple of weeks. And the interesting thing is, while I was out shoveling one Sunday morning, I saw them come by, and Lori was in the car with them, and stopped and chatted with me for a little while, and kind of saw that counselors have to get out and shovel their walkways as well in their driveway, even when the plows come through. So I want to give the shout out to them for a great job that they've been doing during this winter season, and then give kudos to them and to everyone in the city for all the job that they're doing to help keeping the city safe.
Thank you, Counselor Levy. Counselor Preschel.
Well, I had no report except to say what Councilor Levy was saying about the great job our DPW has done. And I think you meant Laura, not Lori, on that, Kevin, because But anyway, she's looking confused here on the screen. But anyway, they've done an outstanding job.
It was Laura.
DPW Director Laura Williamson. So anyway, I would just like to second that and make everybody know that they've done a great job, and they've certainly learned a lot about snow plowing this year. Great practice. Let's not forget next year, and let's hope we don't need it next year. So anyway, that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Prushel. And now my report. First, I want to remind the public again that the council presented a proclamation to BIF, the Beloit International Film Festival, early in the agenda, and that BIF this year will be a 10-day online virtual and drive-in film festival from Friday, February 19th, running until Sunday, February 28th. You can go to the BIF website for more information or call 608-466-9693. And now for more of my report. I attended the Appointment Review Committee meeting along with Vice President Anderson. The City of Beloit is looking for talented volunteers to serve on a board or commission. And to date, we have the following vacancies. The Alcohol Beverage License Control Committee, we have one vacancy for a Tavern League rep. The Board of Appeals, there's one vacancy for a second alternate. The Board of Review, there's two vacancies for alternates. The Community Development Authority, there's one vacancy for a resident. Equal Opportunities Commission, there's one vacancy for a resident. The Landmarks Commission has two vacancies for residents. Plan Commission, there's one vacancy for a resident. And then Travel Review Committee, there's two vacancies for resident members. So there are plenty of volunteer opportunities with the City of Beloit. If you should need further information, please contact Pam Lathrop, the Executive Assistant, at 608-364-6614. Next, I participated in the virtual Black History programs for the School District of Beloit with Gaston, Merrill, and McNeil schools, as well as Cunningham School, where I spoke to Ms. Mary Conklin's 4th grade classes. I know that the students from Cunningham are watching this evening, so I want to give them all a big shout out. I had the opportunity to share with them the importance of being involved in local government and that they can do it too. I told them that if they believe it, they can achieve it. Then I read a book by LL Cool J entitled "And the Winner Is," and took questions. I would like to share a few of the students' questions. They asked, what is the role of the city council? How can a person sign up to become a city councilor? How do you run a campaign? Can the council put a pool in a daycare center? When are things in the city going back to normal? How can a student get a Beloit Public Library card? What activities do the city provide? And which park is my favorite? And much more. The children were very intelligent, and I can't wait to see how many future leaders come out of this group of talented students. Along with Ms. Conklin, I want to thank Ms. Jennifer Knight for her technical assistance. The school district teachers and staff are really working hard to ensure that our students continue to learn and connect during this challenging time. So kudos to them for their ongoing effort. In addition, on Saturday, I was a panelist among other elected officials for the League of Women Voters webinar, which is about restoring trust in the voting process. I want to give special thanks to the presenters, Betty Carr, and the League of Women Voters for the invitation and for all the work they are doing in our community to empower voters and defend democracy. That said, please remember that your absentee ballots are due to the city clerk's office by 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Also, I want to congratulate all those recognized at the annual Downtown Beloit Association Awards Luncheon, which are as follows. The Hall of Fame Award winner was Andrew Yankee. The Best Public-Private Partnership and Revitalization recipients were Beloit College and the City of Beloit for the Beloit College Powerhouse Riverwalk Project, which was accepted by Dan Schoof, who's the Beloit College Chief of Staff, and Lori Luther, our City Manager. The Volunteer of the Year Award was presented to Beloit City Councilor Mark Prushel and Rock County Supervisor Yuri Rashkin. The Chairman's Award went to Stephanie Ashley Hopi, and the Legacy Award winner was Beloit Daily News former editor Bill Barth for his over 40 years of commitment in journalism to the Beloit community. Heartfelt thanks to each of you for making our city even better. Also, congratulations to our downtown small businesses who were honored with special awards too. And much appreciation to Shauna Elamine, Stephanie Knoopel, Melinda Obershire, their team, and the Beloit Downtown Association for creatively making the event a success and continuing to support and promote local businesses and our beautiful downtown. In closing, I want to recognize and applaud our entire City of Beloit staff for continuing to provide outstanding public service. The council has been receiving notes of gratitude from many residents, so please know that your hard work is not going unnoticed. Thank you and keep up the great work. This ends my councilor report. Next, we'll move on to item 11.
Item 11 is the city manager's presentation. It is item 11A, presentation of the Landmarks Commission annual report of 2020 historic preservation activities.
At this time, Chairperson Beckman will provide us with the report.
Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Joy Beckman. I assumed the role of chairing the Landmark Commission in November, and I've been asked to give the annual report for 2020. And I'm not very familiar with these controls here, so bear with me for a second. Okay. So the annual report is, and how do I can't see anything. Oh, there we go. Okay. This annual report is provided in accordance with the Historic Preservation Ordinance, and the commissioners, I'm serving as chair. Alex Blazer stepped down as chair in November and is now serving as vice chair. Then we have commissioners Chris Gallagher, Monette Bebo Reinhardt, and Avery McDaniel. Our city council representative, as Sherry just said, is Sherry Blakely, and the staff liaison is Hillary Rotman. I might add at this time, Hillary has been doing an absolutely fabulous job. As Madam President already noted, the Landmark Commission has 2 vacancies and is seeking individuals with interest in historic preservation. We meet every 3rd Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. And you can contact Hillary if you would like or are interested in applying to be a commissioner of the Landmark Commission. Our job is to issue certificates of appropriateness. According to the Historic Preservation Ordinance, any alteration of designated landmarks, landmark sites, or structures within a historic district in the city shall first require a certificate of appropriateness. We have currently 4 historic districts. There's the Bluff Street District, the College Park District, the Merrill Street District, and the Milwaukee Road Emerson Street Residential Historic District. Now, the Milwaukee Road Emerson Street Residential Historic District is a state landmark district. It is not locally designated currently. There are also 46 individually listed landmarks and 471 designated landmarks in the city of Beloit. There were 45 projects this year, probably slightly down from previous years due to the current situation. 17 of these were staff approved. The rest went through the Landmark Commission. There were gutters, fences, handrails, ramps, roof repair, siding, windows and doors, signs, new additions, chimney and tuck pointing. There was one demolition and one garage repair. Two notable projects. One of the most notable projects this year was the Hilton Hotel. We approved of a modification, adding an additional set of exterior doors as part of that renovation when the bookstore, Beloit College Bookstore, left the building. The other project that is the former Angel Museum is now going to be the Visit Beloit site, and that's going to be really exciting. They've already gotten started on that project, and we approved those modifications, and they just put forth a new sign for the Visit Beloit offices there in the former Angel Museum, 656 Pleasant Street. And that is it for this year. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson Beckman. At this
Okay.
time, I'll entertain any questions or comments on the report from any counselors. All right. Thank you so much for all that information. This report is informational only, and no action is required of the council this evening. So we will move on to the next item, please.
Item 12 is reports from boards and city officers. Item 12A is consideration of resolution 2021-22, approving a final subdivision plat named Park Meadow North, plat number 4, for the properties located at 2600 and 2605 Claremont Drive.
The Community Development Director, Julie Christensen, will provide us with a report. Julie.
So these two parcels were originally platted as part of Park Meadow North, plat number 3, back in 2005. And they were originally approved to accommodate up to 20 duplex structures totaling 40 dwelling units. However, the planned unit development for that duplex development expired, and the land is now zoned R1A, single family residential. So Cedar Ridge Homes LLC has submitted this final plat for Park Meadow North, plat number 4. These were, so what is required for the approval of a final plat is first requires approval of a preliminary plat, which is done by Plan Commission, and then followed by approval of a final plat, which can include just part of that development or all of it. In this case, it includes all of it. The previously approved final plat included setbacks for duplex development and a blanket easement for stormwater and utilities that are now obsolete and must be released, which we are working on that process currently. And then the existing streets already include curb and gutter, lights, water, and sewer mains. But the project does include removal of the private driveway parking area that you can actually see on the air photo if you look at the air photo, and utilities that were constructed on the west side of Claremont Drive, followed by a replacement with conventional barrier curb and gutter. A development agreement will also still be coming forward for those other public improvements such as concrete sidewalks. Plan Commission did recommend approval subject to the conditions which are listed in the resolution before you tonight, which is that all of the conditions of approval of the preliminary plat remain in full force and effect. City staff will not sign the final plat, which is a prerequisite for recording the plat, until a complete set of engineering plans and specifications for the public infrastructure has been approved by the city engineer, until a development agreement between the city and the developer has been approved by the city council, until detailed easement descriptions and rights are included within the plat and approved by the city engineer, and then the applicant shall record the final plat within 1 year of approval and shall provide city staff with a copy. This is on your agenda for action tonight.
Thank you, Julie, for that report. Can I have a motion from councilors to approve the resolution? Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Counselor Blakely.
Moved by Councilor Blakely, and I believe it was seconded by Councilor Prushel. Now I'll take questions and discussion, beginning with Vice President Anderson. Do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, I do not.
Councilor Blakely, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Councilor Forbeck, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, thank you.
Councilor Keys, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
I do not, thank you.
Councilor Levy, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, I do not.
Councilor Prushel, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, I don't. It's good to see some housing going out there and getting this completed. It's greatly needed. We need more rooftops in Beloit.
Thank you. At this time, we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll at this time.
Vice President Anderson.
Aye.
Councilor Blakely.
Aye.
Councilor Forbeck.
Aye.
Councilor Keys.
Aye.
Councilor Levy.
Aye.
Councilor Prushel.
Aye.
President Duncan.
Aye.
That passes unanimously, 7-0. Item 12B is consideration of Resolution 2021-26, approving intergovernmental agreement between the City of Beloit and Rock Council regarding congregate dining center.
If I may, Madam President, before we move on.
Just a minute. The city manager is going to make a clarification. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to clarify. There was a typo in the agenda, and it should actually read the consideration of Resolution 2021-026, approving the intergovernmental agreement between the City of Beloit and Rock County regarding congregate dining center. And all of the attachments and additional documents and supporting documents are correct. So I just wanted to point that out for the council. I did confer with the city attorney prior to the meeting, and she indicated that as long as we made the correction publicly, and because all of the supporting documentation that were included in the packet that was publicly distributed, we can move forward with action on this item. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager Luther, for that clarification. Next, we'll move on, and for a presentation tonight, we'll have our Public Works Director, Williamson, provide us with a report on this.
Good evening, councilors. You have before you a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Beloit and Rock County Council on Aging to provide nutritional meals at Grinnell Hall. We have had this relationship with Rock County for many years. This nutritional program serves about 24 seniors per day. It operates Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 1 p.m. Due to COVID, currently, in order to follow all of our safety precautions, it is provided as pre-packaged meals in a drive-through approach. And so the resolution before you is just to formalize this program that we've had a great partnership with Rock County. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Director Williamson. Can I please have a motion first to approve the resolution? Is there a motion?
I so move. Counselor Blakely.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilor Blakely. Is there a second?
Councilor Keys will second.
Second by Councilor Keys. Now we'll have questions or discussion on the motion, beginning with Vice President Anderson. Vice President Anderson, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No questions. I'm just glad that we're continuing this.
Councilor Blakely, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
Laura, thanks for your hard work in conjunction with the county. It's a very needed service, and I'm glad you found a way to keep it going during this time when it's ever more important.
Councilor Forbeck, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, I do not.
Councilor Keys, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
I do not, thank you.
Counselor Levy, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, I do not.
Counselor Preschel, do you have any questions or discussion on the motion?
No, I don't.
At this time, there is a motion and a second to approve the resolution. I will ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Vice President Anderson,
Aye.
Councilor Blakely,
Aye.
Councilor Forbeck,
Aye.
Councilor Keys,
Aye.
Councilor Levy,
Aye.
Councilor Preschel,
Aye.
President Duncan.
Aye.
That passes unanimously, 7-0. Item 12C, the City Council may adjourn into closed session pursuant to Section 19.85 Sub 1E of the Wisconsin statutes to deliberate or negotiate the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, namely to discuss a request to sell 2101 Cranston Road, 2301 Skyline Drive, and 2305 Skyline Drive. The council will not reconvene into open session.
May I please have a motion to go into closed session at this time?
Levy move.
Moved by Counselor Levy. Is there a second?
Second, Nancy Forbeck.
Second by Counselor Forbeck. At this time, there's a motion and a second to go into closed session. Any discussion? I will ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Vice President Anderson,
Aye.
Councilor Blakely,
Aye.
Councilor Forbeck,
Aye.
Councilor Keys,
Aye.
Councilor Levy,
Aye.
Councilor Preschel,
Aye.
President Duncan.
Aye.
That passes 7-0. We are in closed session at 7:42.